Hi there, it's Beauty Junkie. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to create a work appropriate makeup look with products that I've been loving for a long time. Some that I just want to give you an update on my thoughts and just kind of talk about like makeup comfort at the workplace and what types of products you guys like to wear when you're in a professional setting. And people are supposed to respect your opinion and count on you. I think it's a interesting topic that probably not a lot of people think about too much. I know in the workplace that I work in, I feel like minimal makeup is definitely preferred, even though I like to have fun, be a little creative. I'm not too afraid to have pops of color, but I just noticed with my coworkers that is not really the case for them. So I thought it would be fun to create a makeup look. I do have some complexion products on already, but just kind of take you through my process, my thinking when I'm getting ready for important meetings, or if I'm going to be in an all day in front of people setting that I want my makeup to be long wearing, snatched, and just pretty without being too over the top. So my complexion that I have on already is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Perfect Glow Flawless Foundation. And I did a separate video on this, and I'm not sure when it's going to come out, but I wanted to kind of review and show you what this classic foundation looks like. So that is on my face right now. 4.75 is the shade. I have the matching concealer, the Luminous Silk Concealer, also in the same shade. Shows up a little bit lighter under my eyes. This is a fairly light coverage, buildable concealer. I think it matches the foundation in terms of texture really well. So that's all that's on my face. I have no powders, nothing else. So I wanted to apply my liquid complexion products first, and then we'll do some powders. So I wanted to start with the cheeks, and this is a product that I like the texture of. This is the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Enlivening Blush. I have the shade Pink Soap. I have noticed that this hasn't been restocked, and I just noticed today, and I don't know if this is related to the restock or what's going on, but I noticed today when I pulled this out of my drawer, it's got a hole on the top of the packaging. I don't know if you guys can see this. See that big gaping hole at the top? I'm pretty sure I did not cut this or damage it. I don't know if anyone else that has this product noticed that this happened to them, but this definitely happened to me, and I'm not sure why. But blush is coming out the top, and I'm sure this is drying out the product somewhat. It is a lot of product. This cap still works, but I'm curious if other people are having issues with... There you go. There you can see the hole. That's not great, right? I'm sure I could like put something on here to like clip it closed, but this is an expensive blush, and for the packaging to do that, not great. Not great, guys. I like this blush because it's a very innocent color, non-controversial color. The only thing I think with this blush, it applies really well, looks really natural, but it doesn't last really on me. It's not a blush that I think I see at the end of the day. It's just, it's almost too natural, and it becomes too one with the skin, and my skin likes to eat it. So while it's pretty, it's almost non-existent. Now I could double up, but I'm not sure that would really matter. Now, even though the packaging is not great, and this still feels really easy to blend out, so it hasn't dried out completely yet, but I'm sure after some time this will dry out because of the huge hole in it. Yeah, that I used a lot of the product. It kind of has a staining effect. I just don't think this color really lasts on me. and I'm not sure why it's not being restocked. Maybe something's happening behind the scenes that we don't know about, but I wanted to point that out, give you a little bit of an update on that blush, because I just noticed the huge hole, and I noticed it was getting kind of messy, and I just didn't realize, I thought it was coming out of here, but it's coming out the top. Yikes. All right, next liquid product I'm gonna put on the Auric Glow Lust in Morganite. This is something I usually put under my foundation to get a really pretty lit with them from within glow, but I'm going to use it on top today as my highlighter. I like this product. I think it's really pretty. I think it's fairly pricey for what it is, and I don't need this much glow product. I think the bottle's too big. It's not a foundation. It looks like one, but it's not. It doesn't really give me coverage. So I don't see the need to have this much product. Make it less expensive. Maybe not put it in a glass bottle. Like, it's nice, but it's just a glow product, you know? Anyways, it is a really nice touch to my complexion, but is it absolutely necessary? No, because if you put powder over it, it's gonna go away, like most of the glow. Unfortunately, it's kind of one of those there but not there products. So I don't know, I have kind of a mixed feelings, especially because of the expense of it. Starting with my Junkay loose face powder in light. This is a pretty typical translucent sort of setting powder. I don't think it's super translucent. This is the color of the powder. I would say it's mostly mattifying more than anything else. If I'm going to work, or I'm going to be in several meetings, or I might get hot, my face might get hot, I like to mattify my face just to set it, just because I can turn red, I can turn sweaty. I want to stay cool under pressure, and I don't want my face to change. So I'm one of those people with combo skin that definitely needs to have powder if I'm going to be professional looking. That's just kind of my preference, what I'm comfortable with. I also like to use a blurring finishing powder, my Junkay Perfect Blur. Millions of videos feature, a lot of my videos feature this product. This is the lightest shade. And I use my Sonia G Face One buffing brush with this guy. Sort of my T-zone area. Just to kind of smooth things out. Now you can see a lot of my blush after I applied the powders. Can you guys see that cream blush? Barely, a little bit. It's like too natural for me. Like, I love the texture of it. It is really pretty. It's almost not worth putting on, especially if you powder on top. That's just my impression. So I'm going to put on another blush. This one is from Chanel, and I did a big Chanel haul because I'm new to the brand last year in 2021. This is the Jouez Contrast Powder Blush Rose Bronze. They have reformulated these blushes. I don't know what the new formulation's like. This particular color, I'm not like super excited about. I think it might be the wrong shade for me, but I do think it's like has a little bit of a glow, which I wasn't expecting, that I kind of like. And it does add like a non-controversial color to my face. Like, it's not super bright, it's not super rosy. It's kind of one of those in-between kind of boring color blushes that is flattering enough. Could it be a little bit more flattering on me? Probably. But for work, I'm good with a color like this. I like to keep it real boring. For bronzer, I'm going with the Tom Ford Glow Bronzer in the shade 2 Terra. This is kind of not too shimmery. I have some really pretty shimmery bronzers. I like the color of this. It's probably one of the more natural looking colors on me for bronzer. And I just feel like it's kind of matte, but not too matte. So I just really like what this kind of does to my skin. Just makes me look a little bit more alive and put together as far as my complexion goes. That's the most important for me, that I look healthy and functioning and awake. And I think a bronzer helps with that if you have my light of skin tone. Otherwise, you can look really washed out, tired, kind of dead looking when you don't add a little bit of color back in, especially you put on a foundation, remove all that color, that vitality. So I like to put it back in. Now my cheeks right now look pretty strong with color. I probably would tone it down just a little bit for work. But you know, I get ready in the sunlight. I think that really helps with, you know, gauging the level and the amount of products that I use. So I suggest if you're going into professional setting, kind of getting ready in light that is the most natural. I think that's going to work out the best for you. Okay, so I like to keep things pretty matte, slight a bit of amount of glow in that blush, just because I don't want to get overly greasy throughout the day. Onto brows. I definitely like to define my brows because I can look funny if they're not defined. So once you get into the habit of putting something in your brows, you kind of have to do it, at least I feel like, every day. I think people like to see consistency. I think for me, some people don't recognize me if I straighten my hair, if I always have it curly. Like I just look like a very different person with the bigger curly hair versus the sleek straight. Also, if I color my hair differently, that kind of throws people off. Especially if you're having meetings with people that you don't have meetings with that often. So sometimes like consistency and how you do your makeup can be kind of important, like filling in your brows versus not. I know a lot more people have seen me without makeup. Ooh, that's a lot. Than before the pandemic. So they've kind of gotten used to how I look without it. But before that, I never went a day without wearing makeup to the office. Just because, like, I want to present my best self. I don't want people to see my eye bags, my no brow, my sparse brows. Like, I want to see them. I want people to see the best version of me. So I kind of overdid it on this brow right here. If you don't need to fill in, but you just want to make sure your brows are not moving around, a clear brow gel is going to be your friend. Even if you don't like wearing makeup, just having that on your brows at work in a professional setting so you don't look like a mad scientist, especially if you have big brows. I think that is a reasonable product to use. Now let's get into eyeshadow, which I feel like is probably the most controversial when it comes to makeup at work. Like the eyeshadow colors, textures, glitter that you're using on your eyes at work versus after work. I think there's a lot of opinions. Also lip color, how bright you're gonna go at work. A lot of opinions on that. I generally, if I'm going to be on camera, be in a meeting, I like to go really neutral. I play it safe. For me, it's not the best time to be the most creative with my makeup. Maybe I can do a little bit of something, but I like to keep it really subtle and really natural and just fresh, and focus on like evening out the complexion and being awake and really just getting out the door. So eliminating as many steps as possible. So I have a couple of options here in the neutral category, and I want to give you a few updates. This is the Tom Ford Nude Dip Palette. No real update on this. I still like it. I still think it's really pretty. It is all shimmer, so it's not going to be for everyone. The other options in the neutral category I have are the Westman Atelier eye pods. This is a clean formula, so the texture is a bit different to work with, but I really like these shades in particular. I don't think these are all in one set. Unfortunately, you might have to get a couple sets to get these. Tobacco is a really popular shade among Westman Atelier's iPods. This is this guy. It's like a really perfect kind of tan shimmery color, but not too shimmery. If you want to define your crease, this is Frappe. This is just a brown color. This is from the Rendezvous iPod. Tobacco is from Le Jours, and Neige is also from Le Jours, and I have hit pan on this one. This is a light white shade, but I've mixed in other colors so it doesn't look so white right now. But those are really pretty natural shades as well. So a couple options. I think I'm gonna go into the Westman Atelier today. Save the nude dip for another time, but I just want to show you kind of the swatches of these, and this is kind of a moussey, weird texture. It's not powdery. So this is Neige, and this would be like my inner corner. It's a little bit more subtle. You can build it up to get it really icy. But this is one of those moussey, kind of rubbery, pushback, kind of creamy eyeshadows, and I believe they're this way because of its clean formula. It's taking out some of those ingredients that we normally see in eyeshadows. And this is Frappe. So Tobacco is kind of this reddish, beautiful brown. Frappe is this gorgeous kind of chocolatey color. So that trio right there I think is going to be pretty, so that is what I'm going to do today. Also, if I have a big meeting, I like to have as much time as possible to prepare, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on my face. Also, that's another judgment I think a lot of people think about when if you're wearing what appears to be a lot of makeup. People might judge you, saying how much time is she putting on makeup versus how much time is she spending getting to know her world, her assignment, her job. Is she good at her job if she's spending that much time on makeup? I know that sounds terrible, but people do judge you that way, and I wish that wasn't the case. And I'm not saying you have to do your makeup in a certain way. You can totally be like, you know what, if they can't handle me for who I am, then I don't want to work there. I totally get it, but in the corporate professional world, I don't think creativity in makeup is really valued. I'm just gonna say that, and it sucks. So this is Tobacco. I'm gonna take it across the lid. I don't use eye primers that often, especially like going to work. I'm just not gonna use an eye primer. If you have issues with creasing, that's probably going to be a good idea for you to use a primer if you have really oily lids, slippery lids, and you don't like that having that line of eyeshadow across your lid at the end of the day. I totally get that. So this is a really pretty rusty shade that, you know, it's going to kind of fade into the background. People aren't really going to notice it, but it's going to add a little bit of life and color if you're fair skin toned. Just think it's an interesting color. Now I'm using natural hair brushes. You can use your finger, you can use synthetic. This is not a typical powder, so you might have to kind of do things a little bit differently in terms of your approach to applying this kind of clean eyeshadow. I'm going to go in with a bit of definition with that Frappe brown color. Tuck it into the crease on the outside. I think the downside of these iPods is because the texture is different. If you're using a brush, I feel like I have to go in a lot more to pick up product. It's just a little bit harder to get that pigment with this formula. So a little bit deeper than I wanted to go. I'm going to do some blending. This got really dark really quick. So there we are, not very complicated. A little bit of a natural wash on the lids with a couple different colors. I like to make me different and to This is probably my most creative part, is using like a white inner corner shade. You don't want to overdo it too much, just a little highlight, because that can get real frosty and kind of pop a little bit too much, and that's like the only color people are drawn to, is the inner corner. Now for the under eye, I think I'm just gonna go in with to back, round out and even out this eyeshadow look. I usually, when I'm doing a professional look, maybe I'll do a light brown eyeshadow pencil on my top lid. Otherwise, I don't use eyeliners because it makes the look that much more heavy and smoky and dramatic, which I don't want to do. So I just use mascara, and I try to make sure I'm not too clumpy or too messy with my mascara. I don't want a Tammy Faye moment at work. I also don't want to apply it so much that I'm having mascara flakes down my face in the middle of the day and I don't even realize it. I also like to clean up any mascara that is on my lids. Now, if I wanted to be really natural, I would use a dark brown mascara because that really matches my lashes a lot better than black. But to be honest, not a lot of mascaras come in dark brown. All right, so that's the mascara. I need to do a little bit of cleanup and then I will get into lip colors and such. Actually, before I get into lips, I wanted to just make a little comment that you can do whatever you want at work, but if you're in an office professional setting, no one may ever tell you that your makeup looks comedic or bad or scary. And you shouldn't really care if people think that about you, but I know that some people are concerned with how they appear at work. They want to look clean, professional, and they want to do what they can to get promoted and just be respected. And I think it, you know, first impressions are everything. And when you have, I hope this isn't controversial, but if you have really chunky glitter or super shimmery eyeshadow at work and someone meets you for the first time, they may not appreciate you or give you the chance that you deserve. I'm just gonna say that. I know I probably shouldn't, but that's just the reality that a lot of stupid people think. Like, oh, she likes glamour and makeup. She's not serious about her job. Especially if your job has nothing to do with beauty, but sometimes we like to have a little bit of shimmer and sparkle. I love shimmer eyeshadow, absolutely, and some of this on my eyes has a slight satin sheen, but if I up the ante at work with the glitter, you're just at risk, honestly, for glitter fallout all over your face, and I think that's a look that people might be confused by. Like, why do you have glitter all over your face? I just hate to run the risk of that happening, even though maybe you just want a little bit near your lash line or whatever. I just think people are still, we're still in a very judgmental society, unfortunately. So I just kind of stay away from that stuff for the most part. Let's get into lips. This is another area where you can be really creative, bright, different textures, super glossy. I know overdrawn lips are really popular. I think there's a fine line with overdrawing and with like a deeper pencil. Sometimes it looks fine kind of far away. I have foundation on my lips. But if you're up close and personal, you know, meeting people at a meeting and all they can see is like this deep line like way above your lips, it's a little bit distracting. I'm just gonna say that it's distracting. If you have like a really shiny red lip gloss on, also very distracting. Not that it looks bad or that anyone should judge you for that, but it's just like something that's different enough to draw people's eyes versus what you're saying. I think like you may want to reconsider. Now you can do whatever you want. If you like a clear shiny lip gloss over everything, that's just what you prefer, go for it. I mean, if people see you every day look like that, they're not going to think twice. But every once in a while, if you kind of surprise people with a bold, really shiny, really eye-catching color, maybe you want to do black lipstick at work, people are going to be like, what's on her lips today? I mean, I'm sad to say, like, but if you're not in a creative industry like that, kind of makeup draws a lot of attention, and it can be for the wrong reasons. People might be like, what's going on with her? Is she okay? And you might be totally fine. You just love black lipstick. So I have some more neutral, boring colors for you for the lips that aren't too shiny. Well, one's a lip balm. It's a little bit shiny. This is the Chanel Rouge Coco Bloom formula. It's not as shiny as the Flash formula. This is 116 Dream. It's kind of a warm nude. It has a little bit of shine. So you're going to draw a little bit of attention to your lips, but it just looks like, oh, you see it for a second and then you move your head away. Like it's not going to keep people's attention. You know, it's just going to look like, oh, she has some sort of lip color on, or lip balm. So I like this for a lot of my meetings. It's a very boring shade, but it makes my lips balanced with my eyes. It just makes me look alive, a little bit more well-rounded of a face. Another option from Summer Fridays, if you don't like the Chanel formula, this is the Lip Butter Balm. This is a lot more low-key. It does have a color to it. It's like a nude color. I think this is vanilla beige, kind of a brown. Some people may appreciate something like this a little bit more. It's definitely more sheer. It doesn't last forever. It does produce a bit more of a shine, but with the color, it's not super shiny. I wouldn't put globs and globs of it on. You want to be able to talk comfortably. With any makeup, you want to be able to like move your face comfortably. If you have like 5 sets of lashes on, that might be a little bit hard to express yourself. Anyways, that is my professional makeup look today for you guys. I hope you enjoyed my tips and tricks and suggestions. I just like to keep it really fresh and natural, and I just want to remember that I want people to focus on what I'm saying and respect me more than anything else, but I also want to look healthy and alive, and I want to just give the best impression that I can. This doesn't mean that you can't be creative on other occasions at work. Maybe a casual Friday, throw on a little bit of shimmer and glitter. You know, wear that bold ass blush, wear that red lipstick. Do whatever you want to do to make yourself feel confident and comfortable. Just know that, you know, sometimes people get distracted by what's on your face, and maybe you want them to focus on what you're saying rather than the eyeshadow and whatnot. Otherwise, date night, weekends, happy hour, throw on different makeup that makes you feel happy. Or you can just get out of that corporate environment and get into a creative environment where you can wear whatever you want on your face every single day without thinking twice. I love that for you guys. I wish I could do that for me. But that's why I do this channel, so I do have a creative outlet to wear whatever makeup I want and talk about it freely without embarrassment. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts on professional makeup looks in the comments below. If you like this video, click the thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.